Hi y'all! Today we'll be talking about exams and joint exams. I hate giving out homework, but really, if you haven't already watched my video on team building, I would really suggest it. I'm not going to talk a lot about it here since I've already covered it, so if you want some heavy-duty discussion on teams, go ahead and watch that and then come back here. Teams are an important factor of exams, unfortunately. But anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty of exams. Exams are special battles where you rack up points to earn exam medals, spell leveling up items, and thou marks. There's two kinds of tests, basic and defense. In basic battles, you have to do as much damage to your opponents as possible. For defense, you have to survive all 5 turns and take as little damage as possible. Joint exams are special events where players will have 5 battles they can do twice a day, so it's 10 battles per day. The battles are all fire, all water, all flora, all cosmic, and omni. Whether they're defense or basic battles changes from event to event, but basically, the more you do battles and the higher you score, the more Crowley coins you'll get. You can use these coins to buy special limited edition staff voice line sets. As of February 2022, no line set has had a rerun, so if you want these lines, you need to make sure you get them before the event ends. Oh, and one final note, because this gave me and basically every single other player a heart attack, you are always going to be given an F on your first battle, even if you win. So when you do more battles, your grade will raise. You can plateau in an event, but please do not freak out if you start the event and you get an F. That's just how the event works. There's 2 ways to get exam rewards. One is to do the battles, and the other is ranking. Every time you do a battle, no matter what letter grade you get, you will get 3 exam medals and then a spell level raising item. That's a really awkward phrase, but I don't know what else to call them. And then at the end of the exam period, depending on what your highest score was, you will get additional medals and thou marks. You can use these exam medals in the shop to get a variety of items. I think before we even get into exams, we need to discuss if you even need to do well in the first place. And my answer is no, not really. Exams are not the most important thing, so if battles aren't your favorite thing in the game and you feel like you have to do well, please don't worry over exam scores. I usually rank in the season I'm doing just fine. The only things I personally think are important in the exam medal shop are the magic keys, and that's kind of it. Although that is more of a personal opinion than a fact. The other items in the shop can be received in other ways, so frankly, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. And I'd say the same thing for the joint exams. I usually get a C rank, C or B, and I still have enough Crowley coins to get voice lines. It is nice to see big numbers, but not placing high isn't going to ruin things for you or make the game harder. But I would say out of the 2, joint exams are the far more important ones because, they have the special voice lines. How well you have to do to get what you want fully depends on what you want from the shop. Unless you like battles, in case this doesn't really apply to you, you can skip this or listen in if you want to hear some math about the medals. But yeah. So, no matter if you get an E or a triple S, you will always get 3 medals per battle. If you do all 5 battles a day, that's 15 medals a day. Right now, JP and EN have different exam period duration averages. JP's average is 15, but for EN, right now it's 18.5, but granted, we've only had 2 exam periods, so I think this will probably end up being more like JP in the future. But in case it's not, or you also play JP, I'm gonna use both. If you do battles every day for an average exam period, for JP players, you'll get a total of 45 medals, and for EN, it'll be 54. Although again, this just depends on how long or short the exam period is. Ranking, however, nets you more medals. You're awarded for both tests, so if you get a C in one exam and an A in other, you'll get a total of 300 exam medals. The most medals you can get from ranking is a total of 1,000, and that's if you get triple S scores in both exams. However, to clean out the exam medal shop, you have to have a minimum of 1,294 medals. It's technically more than that because some items have no stock limit, but the majority do, so this number includes just buying one of each limitless item. But this is also why I think stressing to get triple S scores isn't worth it, because, even if you do the best, you're still not able to clean out shop, and so honestly, I just don't see the point in trying in the first place. The most medals you can get in an average exam period is 1,045, or 1,054 medals, and that doesn't even come close to 1,294. I would suggest looking at the shop, seeing what items you want to buy, and then aiming for enough medals to buy those items. For me personally, I always want magic keys, and buying all 3 from the shop costs 350 medals, so I try to get Bs, and JP I sometimes hit the goal, sometimes not. But then again, I also don't do exams every day. But as long as I'm able to buy one key, I'm happy. Alright, so the overall goal of basic battles is to do as much damage to your opponents as possible and get the battle over with as quickly as possible. At the top of the screen, there's like a little meter, and you want to have the biggest number possible. The higher the number you have, the higher score you'll get. Or to quote the wiki, grades are based on your relative damage output calculated in percentages under the turn counter. My only personal advice is to do as much damage as possible and try to end the battle as quickly as you can. The wiki has some great advice courtesy of the Twst gameplay Tumblr, so I'll link it below. However, I don't think their advice is 100% feasible for newer players because, for the record, they're 100% correct. I trust their judgment on this. But I don't think most EN players at the state have 3 SSRs to do 3 duo magic thingies with. So I want you guys, and especially newer players, to think of their advice as an end goal. Right now, just focus on optimizing your teams as much as possible until you get to a point where you can easily follow their advice. Because it is really good advice and it's really going to help you. But also, if you're just starting out, please do not rush to get SSRs. I know a lot of people are wanting to go fast and get triple S scores from the beginning, but please know that this is something you have to pace yourself on. Take as many baby steps as you can. Use whatever duo magic you have, use buddy bonuses, and work up to getting stronger teams. Defense battles are simply holding out for the whole battle and having a higher percentage of HP than your opponent. Now, I think these are far easier than basic battles because you just have to heal a lot. I don't know, I always do better on defense exams. For these, make sure you have a lot of HP and maybe a healer or 2 or more. I don't know your life. The main thing is that you want to make sure that you have more HP than your opponent. The wiki says you have to have 60% of your original HP, which is honestly a really good baseline, but I don't know if this is just an automatic pass or a certain grade or something, but honestly, just try to have as much HP as possible and take as little damage as possible. In the end, I think ranking well in exams is based on having solid teams for whatever your level is right now. Of course there are some hints to help you do better, but please remember that getting triple S ranks will, take a lot of time, and don't try to expand your card roster quickly unless you can easily and comfortably afford it. Although even then, I don't like advising people to play the gacha, it's just kind of weird. Twst is flexible in gameplay, and I think no matter your roster, you can make decent teams, you just have to be creative and play around a bit. I hope this video gives you some insight, or at the very least some solace that it's okay not to get triple S scores on battles, especially if you're EN and we've had the game for 3 weeks? 4 weeks? If you have any other guide suggestions or miscellaneous questions about Twst, feel free to leave them down below. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Bye!